Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Step Through the Ropes, Volume 27. Now, one of the biggest stars of the late 90s, early 2000s wrestling was Billy Gunn. Of course, he and brother Bart debuted in the WWF back in 1993, and they remained a tag team until 1996. Well, it seems like every time Billy Gunn broke up with a tag team partner, he went solo, and it seems like every one of his solo runs didn't really get too far. Case in point, in 1996, as I mentioned, he and Bart, the Smoking Gun, split up. They captained teams on the pre-show match of the 1996 Survivor Series, which Bart was victorious, and Billy eventually, by the end of 96, Billy had to take time off due to a neck injury. Billy returned in time for WrestleMania 13, and he defeated Flash Funk on the pre-show match. And then a month later, he was repackaged as he was unveiled by the Honky Tonk Man as his new protege, and he was named Rockabilly. Well, I called it Crockabilly. Billy didn't have too much success with that character, as he was losing to so many people. Eventually, it was in the fall of 96. Fall of 1997. Jesse James, who was previously known as Double J Jesse James, came out and convinced Billy to break away from the Honky Tonk Man, and did so by smashing a guitar over his head. And he and Jesse James formed a tag team, eventually calling themselves the New Age Outlaws, where they were first they were feuding with the Headbangers. Their team, the Outlaws team, was victorious at Survivor Series 97. The Outlaws wound up winning the Tag Team Championship from the Legion of Doom, and they wound up entering 1998 as Tag Team Champions, lost them to Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie at WrestleMania 14, won them back the next night in a steel cage match, and they basically dominated 1998, and then in 1999, also in 98, they had joined D-Generation X. In 1999, Billy had opportunities to become Intercontinental Champion and didn't win the belt. For a period of time, Billy had an on-screen romance with Ryan Shamrock, seemingly an on-screen romance. Eventually, not only the New Age Outlaws break up, but Billy broke away from D-Generation X and basically started to call himself Mr. Ass, where he feuded with a former tag team partner, Road Dogg. He ended up winning the King of the Ring 1999 tournament, where in one night he defeated Ken Shamrock, Kane, and X-Pac. Billy and the late Chyna lost to X-Pac and Road Dogg at Fully Loaded 99, in which that match was for the rights and privileges to D-Generation X. And then Billy entered a feud with The Rock, and The Rock was victorious. And my understanding is that The Rock didn't want to put over Billy Gunn because The Rock felt working with Billy was a step down for him, considering that throughout 1999, Rock was working with Mick Foley, Steve Austin, and Triple H. The Rock considered working with Billy Gunn a step down. That's why he didn't put him over. In SummerSlam 99, that little rivalry ended. And then within the next month, Billy reunited with Jesse James, the Road Dogg, as the New Age Outlaws, won the Tag Team Championship again. They reformed DX with X-Pac and Triple H a month later. Wow. And then They were tag team champions. Wow, they actually walked into the year 2000 as tag team champions. But Billy suffered a torn rotator cuff, and at No Way Out, they were defeated by the Dudley Boys, and they did this angle where Bubba Ray hit Billy in the shoulder with some kind of a metal pipe, but I understand his rotator cuff was already hurting. And the next night, during a backstage segment, Billy was kicked out of DX to explain, so he can explain, write him out of the picture and explain his absence as to why he had to get that rotator cuff fixed. Then, in the fall of 2000, Billy returned, and he and to aid Chyna in her feud with Right to Censor, which we know was Steven Richards, Bull Buchanan, Val Venus, The Good Father, and Ivory. Billy and Chyna lost a tag match to Steven Richards and Val Venus at the No Mercy pay-per-view, and as a result of pre-match stipulation, Billy could no longer use could use the Mr. Ass gimmick, couldn't come out to the music, couldn't be introduced as Mr. Ass. At first, he was going by the name Billy G, and then they eventually called him the One Billy Gunn. Now, when that happened, I was thinking, what is he, an Elton John reject? And then Billy kind of feuded with the late Eddie Guerrero after Eddie and Chyna had split on screen. Billy reunited with Road Dogg, Chyna, and Kate Quick, who we know was R-Truth, in a losing effort to the Radicals at Survivor Series 2000. Short time after that, Billy defeated Eddie Guerrero for the Intercontinental Championship, and then about a month later, Billy lost the IC belt to Chris Benoit at Armageddon 2000. In 2001, Billy was one of the last 4 wrestlers in the Royal Rumble match. He briefly held the Hardcore Championship at the No Way Out pay-per-view. Wow. At some point in 2001, Billy started teaming with The Big Show, and they were called the Shoguns, and that didn't really last long. Show eventually started teaming with Spike Dudley, and Billy was kind of lost in the shuffle during that invasion angle. Then in late 2001, Billy and Chuck Palumbo became a tag team, and they were seemingly, I guess, acting gay or close to being gay. And they actually won the tag team championship on 2 occasions. First from Spike Dudley and Taz, lost the belts to Rikishi and Rico, their own stylist. Eventually won the belts back from Rikishi and Rico. And then lost the belts again to Hulk Hogan and Edge. And then Billy and Chuck were going to get married, but that was pretty much marred. And Eric Bischoff was actually disguised as a preacher. They were attacked by 3-minute warning. Jamal and Rosie rest their soul. And that led up to a match at Unforgiven 2002, which I believe 3-minute warning was victorious. Yeah, they were. And Billy had took time off due to an injury. And, of course, the Billy and Chuck team was done for as Chuck eventually joined the WWE's version of the Full-Blooded Italians. Billy returned in 2003 and went back to being Mr. Ass. He defeated A-Train on SmackDown, and Torrie Wilson was managing Billy for a time. And that led to an indecent proposal match where Billy took on Jamie Noble. Noble was victorious in that matchup. Then he took time off again due to injury. Came back in 2004. And eventually was released from the WWE. But the point is to all this, guys, is that every time Billy Gunn had a solo run, he just didn't get too far. You know, from '96 to breaking up with Bart to becoming Rockabilly. You know, he didn't get far there. Then in 1999 was like his best chance as he won the King of the Ring tournament, but, you know, The Rock didn't want to put him over. And then in 2000 he became the One, won the Intercontinental title, which didn't last. 2001 wasn't too kind to him. Basically, guys, seems like every time Billy Gunn was a solo wrestler. I mean, he seems like, I know I've said that Buff Bagwell was like tag team wrestler for life. I think it's safe to say the same with Billy Gunn, considering he was one half of the Smoking Guns, one half of the New Age Outlaws, one half of Billy and Chuck, teamed with Big Show for a time. And I think you get the point, but let me know what you think. Do you think, you know, that Billy Gunn solo runs were good, great, not so great, just okay? Let me know what you think, folks. And I sure hope to have more wrestling topics.